Hey everyone, I'm Melanie from Streamlined Legal, where we help law firms get the most out of their practice management software. Tonight we're talking about notifications, and specifically we're talking about Clio's notifications. Now I'm going to hop over to the screen here and show you a couple of years ago, Clio started with these notifications, and if you look in the upper right corner at the little bell, these are exactly the notifications that I'm talking about. And it came without a lot of fanfare. And if you look at your notifications, 9 times out of 10, I'm betting yours says 99 plus notifications, right? The reason that is because when Clio implemented these notifications, they did so without turning any of them off. They were by default all turned on. And there's a lot of options, and we'll take a look at those in just a minute. But I think that in order to get the most out of these notifications, I would highly encourage you to go ahead and review your notification settings. And to do that, we click on the little bell and we find the little gear here that says notification settings. And we go ahead and we click on that. And it'll take you right to this screen where we can review our notification settings. Now, it is a relatively long list, and so you may want to hop down through the different categories over here quickly, but I want to walk through a couple of them and tell you why I think that you don't need these notifications, and that in order to get the ones that are really important to you, I would highly recommend that you turn off many of them. So if you're going down the list here, we're looking at the calendar. We're talking about getting a notification anytime a new event is added to the calendar, a calendar event is updated, or a calendar event is deleted. For me, I would much prefer to have somebody else handle my calendar. And so if you're in a situation where you do have other team members that are able to take care of your calendar for you, then I really don't need to have all of these notifications. You'll see that we can get in-app notifications or mobile notifications. So you have the option to do any of those. Frankly, I would turn them all off. If it's on my calendar, I'm going to prepare for it. I'm going to attend it. I'm going to get ready for it. But if it's not on my calendar, I'm really not going to worry about it unless it's brought to my attention otherwise. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off all of those calendar notifications. Then when I come down here, if you are using Clio for co-counsel, this may be helpful to get alerted anytime a document is uploaded through Clio for co-counsel. But keep in mind, this notification comes via email. So you won't find that in the bell at the top of the screen. This will be via email if you do need that. And then similarly for signed documents that have been received, that can also be very helpful if I'm the one that sent them out, of course. I hope to have my team sending out most of these so that I don't have to worry about that. But in the case that I do, maybe I do want some type of notification in the app or mobile. Now, keep in mind, this little lock here means that we have to get notifications via email, that we cannot turn those off. Now, we could filter them and once they get into our inbox, but for now, we want to go ahead and turn off these in-app or mobile notifications if that email notification is enough for you, so that we don't get a bunch of notifications that we don't care about. Then we come down to matters. Here we talk about anytime someone subscribes me to Matter notifications, well, that's probably every time they open a new file, right? Or a new file that I'm working on. So I probably don't need all of those. I'm going to get a task or some other notification that it's time to start working on the file. So I don't need that additional notification. I also don't need to know when a Matter status is updated. I'm happy to let someone else take care of that. I might want to know when a matter is deleted, because in my office, we rarely delete matters. So if that does happen, then probably something went wrong, right? Somebody wasn't trained properly, someone messed up, something that we need to go back and fix or correct. So I may want this notification. Again, that's like one of the very few notifications that I've wanted so far. So let's keep going here. Matter budgets. I do think that if I'm using the budget tool, that can be, if you have that in your subscription, it can be very helpful to get those notifications. I keep in mind, I'm already going to have to get a notification via email. So the question is just, do I want more notifications? For me, no, I'd prefer less notifications. So I'm going to go ahead and turn those off and rely upon that email notification since I can't get out of that. And then Matter trust funds when the balance is low. Again, I'm already getting an email notification for that. Do I need another notification? Probably not. I'm going to turn these off. Not to mention, let's think about these matter trust funds. If you're doing a regularly replenishing or evergreen retainer, then it's most likely those are going to occur when we do our monthly billing. So I don't need a whole slew of notifications coming through to tell me that we just did our billing, right? I already know that. And we actually have a billing process that says that we're going to check those limits and those amounts for the trust fund notifications every time we do our billing procedure. So again, I don't need another notification. Notes, another place where I really don't need notifications. Unless you're using the notes to notify other people, then that may be some form of internal communication. That makes sense to me. But generally, I'm using my notes such that I really save the information there for when I'm working on the file or someone else is working on the file and we want to get caught up, we'll go and read those notes. But I don't need to know them the minute that they're posted to the matter. In fact, most of the time, I don't need to know them at all until I'm working on the matter. And so I don't need these notifications. Similarly, I don't need to know when a note is updated. I'll read it when I need to see it. And I also don't need to know when a note is deleted. If it's deleted, then I'm assuming that the person deleting it made some type of mistake or error and it doesn't need to be there anymore. Phone logs. Similarly, I treat those as notes, right? Like I do want to see those on occasion and I do want to look and read them and know that they're there, but I don't need to be notified every time a phone log gets created or updated or deleted. Again, I just don't need that type of notification. We're thinking about situations where if we're getting a lot of notifications, it's almost as if we're not getting any because that 99 notifications, 99 plus, are overwhelming and you're not paying attention to all of those and it kind of defeats the purpose or exactly defeats the purpose. Internal messages. I do like to know when I get an internal message, but I don't need to get an email for that. Same with text messages. I am going to want to see my text message, but I don't need to get notifications for that either via email or mobile. Those notifications, if you recall, or if you've used that feature, those will come in as a little red badge on the communications tab over here on the left of the screen. So again, I don't need additional notifications for that other than that red badge. Tasks. Best practice, check your task list every day, multiple times a day. I don't need another notification to tell me that I've been assigned a task. I'm trying to keep the tasks out of my email and not have additional emails coming in. So I don't need to know when one is updated or deleted or even completed, frankly. I'm going to make the assumption that they're getting completed on time unless I hear about it or see them and see that they're not getting done on time. So I don't need to know every time a task list is assigned. And I have to tell you, this task section is where most people get that overwhelm from the tasks, right? When you get assigned a bunch of tasks and you're getting a notification and they're showing up in your task list, to me, that's just absolutely overkill. Then we've got our integrations. If Outlook isn't able to log an email, then I would like to know about that so that I can follow up and make sure it gets logged some other way. And then when I go ahead and export data, I usually don't need an email to know about that. I get the data right out of Clio and don't need to follow up with an email. So again, there's very few scenarios in here, only a handful of which I really actually want to or need to be alerted to with these notifications in the upper right corner. So I would highly encourage you again to go to this notification setting, review those so that you can start using these notifications and let them actually notify you of the things that you need to know, as opposed to all of these tasks and task lists I've been assigned to. Now, the nice part is I can go ahead and mark them all as red, or I can clear them if I want to start fresh now that I've updated my notifications. And that may be a very useful place to start. So again, don't get overwhelmed by your tasks. Please make sure that you're using the tasks that you need appropriately and they're helping you, as opposed to becoming overwhelmed to a bunch of notifications that are not going to help. I hope that's helpful to you. Please let us know if you need any help at Streamline Legal. Thanks so much. Have a great night.